Okay, so have you ever wondered if your weirdest habits are just, well, weird? Today, we're gonna flip that whole idea on its head. We're gonna dive into 10 quirks that might actually be secret signs of a super high IQ. So yeah, let's get right into it.
No, seriously, think about it. You know that one habit you have, the one that makes you feel just a little bit odd? What if it's not a flaw at all, but a feature of a really active, super intelligent mind? Well, let's find out.
All right, kicking things off at number 10. You absolutely love your alone time, right? Does the very thought of a big party just drain you, while a quiet evening at home sounds like the best thing ever? Well, guess what? You're not just an introvert. You might actually be a genius.
But, why is being alone so smart? Well, for a highly intelligent person, a social situation isn't just small talk. It's a full-on storm of data to process. You've got facial expressions, vocal tones, like 5 conversations happening at once. It can be completely exhausting. Solitude? That's when your brain finally gets to breathe and do its best work, making all those cool connections and solving problems without all that background noise.
And here's the actual engine behind all this. It's called the default mode network, or DMN for short. Just think of it like your brain's creative background processor. You know when you have a brilliant idea in the shower? Yep, that's your DMN kicking into gear. And it absolutely thrives in those quiet solo moments.
Okay, let's move on to number 9, and you'll see how this kind of builds. Your room is a complete mess, but you know exactly where everything is, right? Your desk looks like a hurricane blew through, but you can still find that one specific paper in like 3 seconds flat. That's not laziness, my friend. It's the sign of a creative mind just doing its thing. And get this, there was a study at the University of Minnesota that found people in messy rooms actually came up with more creative ideas. Now, to be clear, we're not talking about a dirty space. We're talking about organized chaos. It's a productive mess where your brain is just way more interested in making brilliant connections than it is in, stacking papers neatly.
All right, coming in at number 8 is a big one, and I think a lot of you are gonna feel this. You overthink everything. I'm talking standing in the cereal aisle for 10 minutes, analyzing every possible outcome of your breakfast choice. Sound familiar? You are not alone. And it isn't indecisiveness. It's actually your brain performing at a super high level.
So what's really going on is you're not just choosing, you're running these incredibly complex mental simulations. It's a classic sign of an active prefrontal cortex. That's your brain's reasoning center. And here's the huge upside. When you do make a mistake, you learn from it way more deeply than anyone else because your brain is already hardwired to analyze exactly what went wrong.
This brings us perfectly to number 7. And honestly, this quote just says it all. Small talk is like using a Ferrari for pizza delivery. Wasteful. If you find chatting about the weather to be physically painful, it's because your high-performance brain craves real depth and meaning. You don't want to just admire the paint job. You want to talk about the engine. Okay, number 6. You are a chronic daydreamer. You know the feeling? You're stuck in a boring meeting, but your mind is off designing a futuristic city or replaying some conversation from last week. That's not a lack of focus, oh no. It's your brain literally refusing to waste its immense processing power on something, well, boring.
And hey, look who's back, our old friend, the default mode network. See, when you daydream, your brain is actually working harder, not less. It's busy making all those surprising connections that lead to those incredible aha moments. I mean, think about it. Einstein, J.K. Rowling, some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came from a mind that was allowed to wander.
We're halfway through. At number 5, you're picky about your friends. If your social circle is like 3 amazing friends instead of 30 acquaintances, that is not a social failure. It is a strategic and frankly, very, very smart choice.
I mean, really think about it. Friendships take up a ton of cognitive and emotional energy, right? So intelligent people would rather invest that energy deeply into a few relationships that actually challenge and stimulate them, instead of just spreading it thin. It's all about optimizing for real, meaningful connections.
All right, number 4. This one might feel a little awkward, but trust me, it's a powerful one. You laugh at your own jokes. Even, and maybe especially, when no one else does. That moment, it's not embarrassing. It's a sign of some serious self-confidence and intellectual independence. So what is really going on there? When you laugh at your own joke, you're basically saying, I trust my own sense of humor more than I need your approval. It means your brain is seeing connections and layers of meaning that maybe other people just aren't catching. You're not being socially awkward, you're being intellectually secure. Big difference.
Number 3. This is the habit that keeps so many of us up until 3 a.m. You are just incurably curious. You know how it goes. You start by looking up one simple thing for work, and 4 hours later, somehow you're an expert on the migratory patterns of Arctic terns. That's not procrastination. That is your brain firing up in full-on genius mode.
Here's the science bit. Curiosity actually floods your brain with dopamine, and that makes it like a sponge for information. So you're not just wasting time, you are literally strengthening your brain's ability to learn and make creative connections. Think of it this way. Those Wikipedia rabbit holes, they're your intellectual gym.
And now for our runner-up at number 2, you are fluent in sarcasm. You know that dry, witty comment that just kinda slips out? That's not you being difficult. That is your brain performing some seriously complex mental gymnastics at lightning speed.
So let's look at the brain science here. Sarcasm forces your brain to process the literal meaning of the words, the intended opposite meaning, and the social context, all at the exact same time. It's some high-level intellectual multitasking. And it's not just a theory. Research from places like Harvard and Columbia has actually linked sarcasm to higher creativity. It's like a workout for your brain.
And here we are. The number one weird habit of highly intelligent people is you see patterns everywhere. You're constantly noticing connections and, coincidences that everyone else just seems to dismiss as random. This isn't paranoia, folks. This is your cognitive engine firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, pattern recognition is actually one of the strongest and most reliable indicators of a high IQ. Your brain is just working overtime, constantly sifting through the chaos of everyday life to find the hidden logic, the subtle connections that are invisible to most people. It's a genuine superpower.
So let's wrap this all up. From needing your alone time to seeing patterns in the static, these habits, they aren't weird things you need to fix. They are the beautiful, fascinating features of a powerful and highly active brain. So embrace them.
So take a second and think about it. Which one of these made you go, whoa, that's totally me? Because just recognizing these traits in yourself is the first step to really understanding and, harnessing the unique way your brilliant mind actually works.
And that's a wrap for this explainer. I really hope this gives you a new, maybe more powerful perspective on your own mind. If you enjoyed this, hey, make sure to subscribe for more explainers on all the fascinating ways your brain works. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.